Welcome back to my channel, Famous and Fabulous. Before we begin, please be advised, this story contains sensitive themes. Viewer discretion is advised. This is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Now, picture this. A man with a broad frame, a beard full of sawdust, and a heart even bigger than his famous smile. A man whose slow southern drawl and quiet wisdom have warmed living rooms across the country. He didn't just restore homes, he restored hope. One porch swing, one fresh coat of paint, one neighbor at a time. That man is Ben Napier, the beloved co-host of HGTV's Hometown, husband to Erin, father to two beautiful daughters, and hometown hero of Laurel, Mississippi. Together, he and Erin weren't just renovating houses, they were reviving an entire town, rebuilding pride, resurrecting forgotten stories, and doing it all with grace, charm, and faith. But lately, something's changed. Ben Napier has vanished from the spotlight. Fans noticed. The show paused. Social media went quiet, and slowly, a whisper began spreading online. Where is Ben Napier? Is he okay? Why did he walk away? The truth behind his disappearance isn't a headline, it's a journey. A quiet, painful, deeply personal journey filled with physical pain, public pressure, and a father's desperate fight to protect his family. It begins not on television, but in the church. Ben grew up in a deeply Christian household. Both his parents were ministers. Faith wasn't something they spoke about on Sundays. It was the rhythm of their daily lives. Early on, Ben followed in their footsteps, becoming a youth minister himself, standing at the pulpit, guiding young hearts toward God. But even then, something else stirred in him: wood, craftsmanship, the scent of sawdust in his lungs, the comfort of shaping something real with his hands. Woodworking wasn't just a hobby, it was therapy, a prayer without words. And then Erin came into his life. A graphic designer with fire in her heart and an eye for beauty. Erin didn't just love Ben, she saw him, his soul, his strength, his passion. Together, they made more than a marriage. They built a mission. When HGTV came calling, it didn't feel like a business deal. It felt like a calling, and Hometown was born. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't fake. It was warm, simple, real. And America loved it, loved them. Ben and Erin were authentic in a world obsessed with filters. But even as their fame grew, something was quietly breaking down. Ben had always been a big guy. He wore it with humor, carried it with grace. But the toll of constant renovations, filming schedules, and long days started to wear on him. His weight climbed, his energy faded. But he didn't change for the cameras, he changed for someone far more important, his daughter. When Helen was born, Ben looked into her tiny face and saw a terrifying truth. If he didn't change, he might not be around to walk her down the aisle. So he got to work, not with wood, but with willpower. He overhauled his diet, started working out, lost over 55 pounds, not for vanity, for longevity, for love, and for a while, it seemed like everything was falling into place until it fell apart. It started with a stranger. A man, older, erratic, reportedly from California, began hanging around their home, sometimes dressed like a Star Wars stormtrooper, sometimes wearing an ankle monitor, always watching. At first, it was unsettling. Then, it got terrifying. He started bringing toys, not for his kids, for theirs. Ben and Erin were stunned. Their private world, their sacred space, had been breached. What was once a charming Mississippi home now felt like a target. Security was hired. Police were alerted. But the fear lingered, because it wasn't just them anymore. They had two daughters, a family to protect. Ben, the gentle giant, felt something shift inside, a father's instinct. A storm of fear and fury he'd never felt before. And just when they thought things couldn't get worse, they did. Ben had been hiding shoulder pain for years, quietly pushing through, shrugging it off. But the pain grew unbearable. Scans revealed the truth: severe bone spurs, cartilage damage. His shoulder was deteriorating, and the man who lifted beams with ease couldn't even lift his arm. He underwent major surgery, long recovery, weeks of rest, therapy, stillness, and in that stillness, something powerful happened. He remembered who he was before the cameras, before the noise. He reconnected with his faith, his purpose, his priorities. He chose to slow down, to heal, not just physically, but spiritually. Because sometimes when life breaks you, it's not the end, it's the invitation to rebuild, not just the structures around you, but the structure within you. The world saw Ben Napier as a builder of homes. But what they missed, what only those closest to him truly saw, was that he was rebuilding something far more fragile: his health, his peace, his spirit, the very foundation of the man he wanted to be for his children. Today, Ben Napier isn't chasing the spotlight. He's chasing something far more elusive: peace. The kind of peace that comes not from applause, but from the quiet joy of a morning without noise. A breakfast where no one's watching. A walk through town where no one stops him for selfies. Just a man with his family, soaking in the kind of ordinary moments most of us take for granted, until they're gone. You won't see him on every episode, not on every magazine cover, not in constant interviews or glamorous premieres, but he's there, in the most sacred of places. Home. At home, where the walls are filled with laughter, not camera crews, where little feet run down hallways he helped build, chasing dreams too big to fit on any screen, where Erin's voice still makes him smile the way it did when they first met, where faith isn't something scripted, it's something lived. He still works, still builds, still creates, but now it's on his terms. No longer defined by production deadlines or network expectations, Ben's creativity flows from a deeper well. He picks his projects with care. He takes time to breathe, to think, to rest. Because he's learned something it takes most of us a lifetime to understand: that busyness doesn't equal purpose, and exhaustion isn't a badge of honor. He's traded burnout for balance, momentum for meaning. The fast lane for the front porch. Now his schedule includes more than blueprints and tool belts. It includes pancake breakfasts, afternoon walks with Helen and May, story time by the fireplace, dinner with Erin, where they talk about the day, not the ratings. These are the scenes no TV crew can capture. But they're the most important ones of all. Because what is a man's legacy really? Is it the number of homes he's flipped? Or is it the home he's built with his own two hands, for the people he loves more than life itself? Maybe. The real legacy is not in the renovations seen by millions, but in the quiet protection of a single family, in the choice to put them first, even when the world wanted more. Not the houses he restored, but the home he protected. Not the fame he earned, but the family he chose. Not the accolades, but the answered prayers whispered over sleeping children. Ben Napier didn't vanish. He evolved. He didn't lose his spark. He lit a new fire, one that doesn't burn for attention, but for presence. He didn't fall off the map. He redrew it, centered not around a TV schedule, but a backyard swing, a homemade dinner, a bedtime prayer. He stepped out of the spotlight to find something brighter. Because sometimes light isn't what shines on you, it's what shines through you, and maybe, just maybe, that's a lesson for all of us, that in a world obsessed with more content, more followers, more fame, there's something powerful in stepping back, in slowing down, in saying no to the chaos and yes to the calm, yes to healing, yes to presence, yes to the people who matter most. Sometimes, the greatest renovations don't happen on screen. They happen in the quiet, in the broken places, in the hard conversations, in the healing, in the heart. Because true restoration isn't about wood and nails. It's about love and courage and choosing every single day to show up, not for a camera, but for your family. So the next time you see a front porch glowing with warm light, or smell the scent of fresh lumber on a crisp morning, think of Ben Napier, not just as a television host, but as a husband, a father, a builder of more than homes, builder of legacy, a man who knew when to pick up the hammer and when to put it down, to hold the hand of his daughter, to wrap his arms around his wife, to stand quietly, faithfully, in the home he built, from the heart.